Last night you deep cleaned a kitchen that wasn't dirty. You alphabetized something. You answered 3 emails that could have waited a week. And the one thing you actually needed to do, the 20-minute thing, is still sitting exactly where you left it. That's not laziness. Laziness is cheap. What you did last night was expensive. You know the one I mean. The tab that's been open 9 days. The message you keep meaning to answer properly. The form. You think about it in the shower, at red lights, at 2 in the morning. So it's not that you forgot. Something is stopping you, and it isn't effort. You've got plenty of effort. The word you use for this is lazy. Maybe somebody said it to you first, years ago, and now you say it to yourself quietly, most days. Here's my problem with it. Lazy isn't a diagnosis. It's a verdict. And verdicts don't come with a fix. They just tell you the case is closed. It also doesn't survive contact with the evidence. You've stayed up until 1 in the morning building something nobody asked for. You've read 400 pages about a hobby in a weekend. A genuinely lazy person cannot do that. Your ability to work isn't broken. It's just weirdly, specifically absent around certain tasks. And you've already tried the lazy fix. Alarms. Harder rules. A new app. That grim little talk you give yourself on Sunday night. It works for about 3 days, every single time. When a fix keeps failing in exactly the same way, that's usually not a willpower shortage. That's a wrong diagnosis producing a wrong cure. So here's the actual thing. Procrastination isn't a time management problem. Researchers who study it describe it as mood repair, a short-term fix for a bad feeling. You're not avoiding the work. You're avoiding how the work makes you feel. And you do it in the 2 seconds before you'd have to feel it. Because it's never simply that it's hard. Hard is fine, you do hard things. It's one of a small set of very specific bad feelings. Boredom, confusion, resentment, when the task feels unfair. And the worst one, the quiet sense that this task might tell you something about yourself you'd rather not learn. Take confusion. You open the document, and you don't know what the first line is. That's a horrible little feeling. Not dramatic, just uncomfortable enough. And about a second later the document is closed, and you're somewhere else entirely. You'd swear you never decided anything. You didn't. That's how fast it moves. Or take the application you haven't sent. While it's unsent, it could still be brilliant. Send it, and you find out. Unstarted work has this lovely quality. It's still potentially good. Starting is the moment you trade a comfortable maybe for an actual answer. Some part of you knows that, and pulls the handbrake. Now the important part. The second you switch away, something happens. The dread drops. Instantly, reliably, for free. That's relief. And relief is one of the fastest teachers there is. You never chose to procrastinate. You've just been rewarded for it, hundreds of times, in a way that never once reached conscious thought. Which is why the escape never actually feels good. Nobody gets up from an hour on their phone feeling great. You feel flat. You weren't chasing pleasure. You were turning down a volume. That's also why more of it doesn't help. Nothing was ever added. Something was just briefly muted. Here's the part that stings. Look at what you actually do instead. It's rarely nothing. You reorganize. You do the small useful jobs. You work, genuinely, just aimed 90 degrees away from the thing. Nobody scrubs a fridge at 11 at night out of laziness. That's an escape system running at full power. So the machinery is fine. You're not short on drive. Your drive is employed. It's doing avoidance, and honestly, it's doing it well. That's better news than the alternative, because my effort is pointed the wrong way is something you can move. I'm a lazy person is just a place to sit down. Meanwhile, the word makes it worse. Every time you call yourself lazy, you add weight to the task. Now it isn't just boring, it's proof of something about you. So tomorrow there's more feeling to avoid than there was today. The job hasn't grown. The dread has. Guilt is a terrible starting fuel. And untouched things swell. A 2-line reply, left a week, stops being 2 lines. It becomes the apology, the explanation for the delay, the whole story of what kind of person leaves things a week. You're not avoiding the email anymore. You're avoiding the version of it you've been building in your head. So if the problem is a feeling, more alarms won't touch it. You can't outschedule a flinch. The fix has to go where the problem actually is, which sounds soft and isn't. It's 4 small, unglamorous moves. None of them require you to feel any different. You can do the first one tonight. 1. Before you start, say what's wrong with it. Out loud, 1 sentence. I don't want to start this because it's confusing, or boring, or embarrassing. Putting a feeling into specific words reliably takes some of the heat out of it. That's one of the more solid findings in this whole area. And it hands you something to argue with. You can't do anything about a vague, heavy fog. You can do something about its confusing. Different flavors want different answers. Boring wants a time limit or company. Confusing wants a definition. Exposing mostly just wants you to admit that's what it is. 2. Kill the vagueness. Don't write due taxes. Write open the drawer, find last year's folder. Dread lives on ambiguity. It needs an unknown to fill with something awful. A fully specified task can only really be boring. And boring you can survive. Boring was never the reason you were stuck. 3. When you catch yourself reaching for the phone, you're still allowed it. In 60 seconds, sit in the discomfort for 1 minute first and name what just happened. That was relief. You're not banning the escape. You're making it slow. A slow reward is a much worse teacher than an instant one. 4. Stop saying lazy. Not to be kind to yourself, because it's inaccurate, and inaccurate labels point nowhere. Swap it for the true sentence. I'm avoiding this because it makes me feel stupid. That's a worse thing to admit and a far better thing to know. Only one of them tells you what to do next. Some days you'll name it perfectly and still not start. That's normal. This is a lever, not a switch, and levers move things part way. And once in a while the dread is telling the truth. If you've circled the same thing for a year, ask yourself honestly whether you want it. Sometimes the answer is no. So, you're not lazy. You're regulating a feeling very efficiently at your own expense. Name the flavor. Specify the first move. Delay the escape by a minute. Drop the word. None of that makes the feeling go away. It just stops the feeling from making the decision on your behalf. And the 20-minute thing you've been circling for 9 days? Pull the sheet off it. It's a small, dull, mildly annoying box. It was never the size it looked. You were never scared of the work. You were scared of the 2 seconds before the work. Those are survivable. That's genuinely all it costs. That's what this channel is for, taking the thing you've been calling a character flaw and showing you it's a mechanism, because mechanisms you can work with. I'm Theo. There's more of this if you want it. Go and be badly, slowly, unimpressively started. It still counts.